And a very good morning to you. We are back, and of course it's time for us to jump right into the news review this morning. As always, you can have your say on the news as well. Tweet us at K24 TV. We'll be looking at those right here on the show. But as always, let's start off with looking at the front pages of each of the dailies this morning as you get up. Starting off with the People Daily's front page, Kibra poll reignites Ruto Tuju battles. That's a story that you can get right there on the front page. Moving on to the Standard's front page. In the Standard, soccer star caught up in Uhuru Ruto party wars. Quite the headline right there. With the Stars leading with Ruto tells off Raila over the referendum. That's the story the Star is leading with. And in the Daily Nation's front page, Raila bid to save Nat as more teachers flee. This, of course, a story that's going on with the tug of war between Nat and the TSC. And the Business Daily's front page, Kenya Airways 6-month loss rises to 8.5 billion Kenya shillings, announcing their results yesterday. Of course, that makes the front page as far as the Business Daily is concerned. And these are the stories that we'll be tackling this morning as we get into the newspaper review right here. So what we need from you, of course, as always, is to chime in and let us know how you're feeling about the big stories of the day. You can get us, of course, at K24 TV as well. You could also call. The numbers are scrolling at the bottom of your screen as we speak right now. And also, another story that you can look at on the front page of the PD as we get into that as the first paper of the day. Justice Odunga gives lifeline to capital offense convicts. Murder and robbery prisoners are entitled to remission of sentences, rules the judge. A subject for debate right then, something that you need to get into as we get into the newspaper review proper. But I'm also glad to announce that my panel is now fully constituted. We are good to go as far as it's concerned, and now I'll welcome them as they come in. First of all, karibuni sana. A warm welcome to all of you.
Asante sana.
Honorable Onyoka, thank you for making time to join us this morning. British Salachi, karibu sana to the new studio.
Bright colors.
Yes. Honorable Kanini Kega, karibu sana.
Awesome studio.
How do you like the new home?
Awesome. Awesome.
Fantastic stuff. And even as you look at the new home, the dailies, new battle lines drawn, and the lines drawn deep in here. Let's look at the PD's front page. Kibra poll reignites Ruto Tuju battles. Ex-international footballer Mariga at center of row as DP and Jubilee Secretary General front different lists to electoral body for the upcoming by-election, further exposing cracks within the ruling party. Of course, I'll start with Honorable Kanini Kega right here, because what is going on in the House of Jubilee at this particular point? And the IEBC is talking about the fact that on one hand, we're having this list and we don't understand what's going on. We need some clarity on what's happening.
You have put me in a very awkward situation because, of course, the party has its spokesperson, and the person who is supposed to
answer these questions,
answer those questions, and also provide the list because we have a proper party structure.
But as a member, I'm sure you have.
Of course, it's a concern. To me, I will be concerned that
yes.
If you have actually two lists, then definitely there is a cause for concern,
right,
so to speak. But from where I sit, it's actually the Secretary General who is supposed to provide the list, and we are yet to know whether he's the one who provided the initial list or the other list. Actually, I'm seeing it today that there are two lists. But I, of course, heard that through the social media, as usual, that there were two lists that were going through. But to me, being a member of Jubilee, I believe that the list that is provided by the Secretary General is the authentic list, and we actually go by that.
Right. Yeah. Onyonka, I can hear you laughing as we talk about this. And as we look at this, does this mean, as far as this particular by-election is concerned, it almost seems like it's home and dry as far as the ODM part of things is concerned? Because if Jubilee can't even decide who they're going to put in terms of nomination and see who's going to proceed to actually represent the party, is it home and dry, Kibra by-election?
But for me, you know, I'm in the opposition. I love what's going on.
It's a field day for you.
And these Jubilee people here. I remember how they used to hit at us when we were really struggling and screaming, NASA, NASA. Now we look and say, you know, this, now it's the other side, you know. But again, I think to a large extent, that headline is mischievous. The headline actually should be Kibra poll reignites Uhuru Ruto battle.
Uhuru and Ruto.
Yeah, forget about the story being at this story is about Uhuru and Tuju. I mean Ruto and Tuju. I mean Tuju is the Secretary General of a party. We believe now Tuju is actually on the side of the president. And if Tuju says something, we believe the president must have given him instructions.
Right, right.
We understand on the other side that Jubilee the president may not have wanted to introduce a candidate who's going to run against ODM.
Right.
So in essence, the reality you have, and this is how I read it, is that we are in trouble.
And even as you look at this particular trouble that you're talking
Jubilee
about.
is in trouble, actually. Yeah, it's only that my brother, you know, always a diplomat and a wonderful guy. You guys are in trouble.
Okay, let's talk about this particular trouble, because we also have British Salachi here to chime in on this. Time and time again, we have people and, of course, members of the party asking for, you know, this parliamentary group meeting. Let us sort out what's going on in our house, because clearly there is an issue. When it comes to this particular thing, British Salachi, things have come to a head. When we have two lists from the same party, the deputy party leader and the secretary general reading from two different scripts, as the dailies are saying, really, we need to bring this house to order. Where do we start?
Well, I think we will, you know, in terms of law, let me say we will ask the secretary general in terms of law.
Right.
That because I think the law mandates that he takes the list to IEBC. So in terms of now having two lists and then factions allied to DP and the party secretary disagree, it's unfortunate, because I wish it was something they just sat down and agreed. And my question will be also, do they want to go to a nomination, or they had just decided on the candidate? Then the next question will be, we had a Jubilee member who vied in Kibra and who spent money also, and I think would wish to go back because he already has a base of an electorate that believed in him. And he brought in votes, not just for himself, but at that time for even the president. That's how the 51+1 happened. So I think it is always good for a party to appreciate that also.
And like the fact that even as the Jubilee side is very diplomatic, as we go through the newspaper review, some people are saying that this is what the handshake...
Did you just say I'm diplomatic? I think I'm just saying
No,
let's see. Very tactful with your choice of words.
They have to just go back and ask themselves, who vied in Kibra? Who dared at that time? Yeah? That person
should come back and have another stab at it.
Let them now go through a nomination process, and then whoever wins, let them go to Kibra.
And some people are saying
but for sure, which are the
because that guy knows Kibra, I would say for sure. That is the guy who understands Kibra.
But I think the guy who
there for 1 year.
But I think the guy who vied in Kibra went to ODM now.
Oh, he moved.
I think the DJ guy is the one who...
No. It was not the DJ guy.
Okay.
And even as you look at this, because there's one list, according to what the story is
the DJ guy was singing with us in Jubilee.
Yes, he was in Kasarani.
He was not a candidate.
He wasn't a candidate.
He wasn't a candidate.
But one list has footballer McDonald Mariga, who apparently is being fronted by the deputy party leader in Jubilee, while the other doesn't. And that's where it seems like the crux of the matter is whether he's going to be the candidate or not.
So are we, you know what we should be asking ourselves as Jubilee, are we just fronting, and I'm not saying Mariga is not right to be fronted or whoever, but for me I think you should be somebody who understands Kibra. For you to just even go there, I'm hoping you understand Kibra. The part of your life, you are within Kibra. And not just in Kibra when you go to do things and come out. No. That you have been there for the funerals that I know are always there. And the Mheshimiwas can tell you that you have been there when they call you for many different activities that they normally have. Which sometimes I go there and I can never dare to say I'm now going to buy in Kibra. No, but I know there are very, very, very interesting scenarios that you find in Kibra, and that Kibra people will always call you in. And that is why I always supported the late Ken Okoth. And for me, if I must, I would say, I would wish the person who worked closer, forget now, I know the brother, because of many issues, will find it very tough in terms of convincing. But I know there are others who are close to Ken, who are in his committees, and if one of them can come out, could be good because they will follow the legacy of Ken Okoth. That is the first thing I'm hoping everyone is trying to think about. The bursaries that he used to get, the sponsors, that people will still support these children.
To follow up on that work that he was doing.
Yes, and they know where the partnership is.
Another angle to this one, and let me bring it in, Bwana Kega, is the fact that some people are saying that it's not even, a battle between Ruto and Tuju, rather, or even like Honorable Onyonka is saying between Ruto and Uhuru, but more so Ruto and Raila, because it seems like this is an effect of the handshake, because we had Nairobi Senator saying that in this particular by-election, we shall not field a candidate. And he said that in full glare of the press, and we've seen it work time before, in different Wajir, Embakasi, Ugenya, where there was a gentleman type of agreement, you have a candidate, we won't front ours. But at this particular point in time, all gloves off.
You know, Jubilee is the ruling party.
Yes.
And it's actually it was very, very unfortunate for Jubilee not to field a candidate in the other by-elections that happened. Because as a ruling party, you should always make sure that your presence is felt everywhere. Right. Personally, I was for the school of thought that we should have fielded candidates in each and every by-election. However, I am a bit perturbed that now, instead of us saying that we are having a candidate for Kibra, now there is this narrative that it's no longer a Kibera candidate, it's no longer a member of parliament for Kibera, but some proxies, you know, that is so-and-so who is either winning or losing. And I think we will miss the big picture. Because the Kibra people had a member of parliament who was working for them, who did a lot of them, transformed Kibra. And if you now go back to a situation whereby we have a candidate who is not working for Kibra, who is coming from, I don't know, God knows where, and then he is imposed to be the Kibra member of parliament, then we will be losing the point. So to me, because the ultimate people who will make the decision are the people of Kibra, I would beseech them to look for a candidate who will prosecute their issues. Right. Just like what the former member of parliament, my good friend, Ken Okoth did. Right. And, you know, Ken Okoth went through hell, not just because of his ailment, but also the political terrain, you know. I remember there was a time that he built a very nice school, but somehow he put some red colors, you know, in the school, and
now it became
it was a big issue. In fact, the guest of honor who was supposed to come during that time did not even come, and it was actually even boycotted. But right now they can look back and say that their member of parliament really transformed their constituency. So to me, because they are the ultimate voters, I would beseech them to actually look for a candidate, their candidate, and a candidate who will work for them. They should ignore all these side shows because they don't help. Look at the case of Ugenya, where my good friend Ochieng won. You know, it was like there was a candidate of this side and a candidate of the other side. But the people of Ugenya voted for their candidate. So that same case I see replicating itself in Kibra, where the Kibra people will elect. Of course, the voter of today is not like the voter of yesterday. So will be told that you are supposed to vote in a particular way. They know that the person they are electing is their member of parliament. And is a person who understands their issues. I would also not agree very much with my friend, the Speaker of Nairobi, that they should have, I mean, the person should just come from Kibra, so to speak, because as a member of parliament, you can vie anywhere, as long as you are able to articulate the issues of those particular people. Because I can, and I look forward to a time whereby Kanini Kega can vie in Kisumu Central, or in Baringo, or in Mombasa.
I hear you on that. Okay, of course.
Yeah, but I believe very soon it's going to
happen. Okay, and let's move on with PD as well. Shift gears a bit from matters politics to an issue that's on page 9 of the People Daily, if you can all move there. And this one is an issue that has been brought before. An idea had been mooted that before you start your church, before you become a pastor, please get the relevant clearance from the various authorities to go ahead and summon your congregation and preach whatever sermon you might want to bring Disgusted faithful vow to sue Nganga. Last week, the pastor ridiculed male members of his church, insinuating that their genitals were smaller than average. I'm sure if you're in 2 WhatsApp groups, you have seen this video. That's all you need to do. And the question had been brought up time and time again. Let me start with you, Honorable Onyonka, on this. By the time you decide you want to start Onyonka Ministries, should you go and get your clearance from the DCI, from all of these people, have a certificate of theology, so that such theatrics aren't, you know, common and aren't seen every single time you go online?
I think to a large extent, we should adopt internationally best practice. What is it that happens in other jurisdictions, in other countries, when somebody is setting up a church?
Right.
The truth is, in Kenya, our churches have left a lot to be desired, because you have Mr. Nganga, who has come up with incident after incident. You remember him threatening Linus Kaikai and throwing epithets at him.
He since apologized.
Yes.
They agreed
that
to
is true. I think he's
him.
just apologized because he wants to save his skin.
Right.
The truth is, I think if the church is not able to audit itself, then I don't think we have any option as a country, but our members of parliament for that matter. And this is a matter that is, yes, controversial, but it's a matter which we need to look at and discuss with its merits and demerits. We actually need to start now discussing on what is it that we need in order for somebody to open a church. Should we get out there to understand? I mean, some of the things you see on TV that are taking place, especially the quote-unquote healing ministries and all that stuff. I think we need to rethink. We need to look at the issues. We need to look at the issues of integrity within the church, and we need to look at the people running the church.
Okay, Elachi, let me bring you in on this one, because of course, as Speaker of the County of Nairobi, very many of these churches also within the County of Nairobi. We've seen this from the Mbegu 310. We have seen Nganga also in full glare of all the videos that go around. How do we tame this? Because people are going for spiritual nourishment and guidance, and get out with this. Really?
Well, this is the most, I don't understand when you say muniandike sana kwa gazeti. Muniandike sana, wanaume wale mtanichezea, nitafunga hiyo kitu yako.
Usipitishi hapo.
Utakuwa unaona mke wako na macho. Ngombe wewe.
And that's your pastor.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we refuse. This is, I mean, for me, I'm sorry to say, it is unfortunate that you can take the Spirit of God and the grace God has given you for people to come, and your influence has become that you are the God. That's all I see here. Because for you to tell me, utafunga, na Mungu yuko, it's a very dangerous word. And for me, by the way, this is where now you come and ask yourself, is it a church? It is somebody who is manipulating people. So for me, we bound his mouth. That in whatever spirit he speaks in, may it be him. That when he sees the wife, he will never wake up. That's
Honorable Kega on this one.
Yeah, for you to start a business enterprise in Kenya, you have to go through a rigorous process for you to be registered. For you to start a business.
As a business, a business enterprise.
And since some churches have become business enterprises, they also have to go through that rigorous vetting and all that. And I support what happened in Uganda. I mean, what do you call in our neighboring country here. In I remember the country, and they were very, very categorical. The president said, for you to start a church, you have to have the bare minimum, the bare qualification. You have to go to church. But now in Kenya, you see a confessed criminal, who says that I have been saved and I have been transformed, and then all of a sudden forms a church. And of course, there is a congregation coming to him and with all manner of things, bringing presents. The other day I saw them, and I don't think it's, to me, it's not so much of a big problem, whereby the congregants say that we want to buy our bishop a birthday present, and of course they bring home of vehicles, yet themselves they are walking. To me, I believe there needs to be some checks and balance. Ordinarily, the church should regulate itself. And for a long time, we have let the church to regulate itself. The mainstream churches don't have issues. The Catholic, where you also belong in PCA, the other churches, the mainstream churches don't have so many issues. But the other evangelical churches, with a lot of respect, with the other evangelical churches, because they are mushrooming left, right, and center. In each village, you'll find like 20 different churches, Miracle, you know, with all sorts of names. Yeah, all sorts of names. And sometimes it's also confusing to the masses. And the responsibility of the government of the day is to ensure that their people are safe.
Okay. And one way, let's pause at that particular point right now because we need to take a break. Of course, as you can see, everybody talking about the fact that they need stranger, steps when it comes to how we're going to get these churches in place because clearly
do the Rwanda way.
Yeah, the Rwanda way. Exactly.
You have to just go the Rwanda way.
Right, the Rwanda way.
Yes.
And just make sure before you get in, you present all your documents and thorough vetting.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your take on this as well? We'd like to hear from you. Please tweet us at K24 TV. Before you start your church, you need all your vetting documents brought right there for you to go through, and of course make sure you are fit to start your own church. You can also SMS us on 21222 on that particular issue as well. Take a short break. We're back with plenty more right here as we get into the newspaper review.